Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you're enjoying your day wherever you are. I want to say thank you very much for those of us that have been supporting this channel, for your advice, for directions, and also those who also share a lot with me behind the scene think tank. Asanteni sana. I know there is another silent team behind that works behind the scene. I want to give a very good shout out to them and to super camera woman. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just reading this story, and you'll have to excuse me because of my glasses, I'm really struggling. Because I don't have them, I'm really struggling, but we'll keep up. I'm reading this story in Kenyans.co that KDF rescue Noor Gabow after being cornered by angry protesters. The Deputy Inspector General of Police was on Monday cornered by angry protesters who demanded answers for the continued banditry in the North Rift region despite of heavy police presence. The protesters blocked 2 kilometers of the road in Loruk, Baringo County, using stones to prevent Gabow from traveling from the location, claiming that he had failed at his mission. Now, the residents claimed that in 2 weeks that Gabow had been overseeing the ongoing security operation in the area, 2 people had died and 5 others were injured by bandits. Now, overwhelmed by the protesters, the officers of Kenya Defense Forces rushed in to rescue the Deputy Police IG from the angry residents. The KDF officers transferred him to an awaiting vehicle before driving him out of the area. Now, the residents accused him that who had been in the area of inaction, despite knowing exactly what the community around is going through. At the same time, the affected individuals further stated that they feared that many of their schools would not reopen because of the continued banditry, adding that both the students and the teachers feared for their lives. They claimed that operation was delayed because of conflict of power between military officers and police officers. Now, the story goes on and forth. The areas that are affected include Ngelecha Hills, Georges, Ramacha, Losokoni Caves, Laramoru Georges, Karau Hills, Nosian Escarpments, Rugus Caves, and Amaya Georges at the interface of Baringo, Laikipia, and Samburu counties. Why? Hey. This North Rift operation, this anti-bandit operation looks very difficult, to say the truth. Looking at the latest developments coming from that place. I've also been wondering why, despite the fact that there is a heavy police presence there, and even a multi-agency force, led by the police and the military, they've not yet neutralized the bandits in that area, because we've had stories, and I think Samburu had protested about some people being killed, despite the fact that there is fight there, and there was even a protest by there was a statement by Lesoda claiming that it is more about land, and I remember that really creating a lot of eyebrows, raising a lot of eyebrows there. I wanted to get a bit of that, what Lesoda said.
Mtu asikudanganya hapa kuna mambo ya cattle rustling inaendelea. Hakuna ng'ombe inachukuliwa hapa. Ng'ombe imeuawa na jilali, na ng'ombe hakuna hata watu wako na ng'ombe saizi hapa wa Samburu. Jana hao watu wawili waliuawa, hakuna ng'ombe ilichukuliwa hapo, na hata hawakuwa kwa ng'ombe. Hakuna mambo ya ng'ombe hapa. Ni mambo ya ardhi. Sababu tunafukuzwa sasa hapo kutoka pura kila mahali, ili ng'ombe yao ndio inalishwa hapo na kukunywa maji. It cannot possibly be that mumetuma jeshi, mandege inazunguka zunguka hapa, maskini hawa watu wanafikiria sasa jeshi imekuja, wanalala. Wakilala kesho yake wameuawa. Mimi nimechoka kuzunguka kwenda kuambia maboma pole. Naenda leo, by the time nifike Nyahururu nikielekea kazi Nairobi, narudi tena kusema pole. Nikienda tena kufanya kazi nyingine, narudi kusema pole. Mpaka lini? Muteremke huko chini mahali hawa wanapita, hata hawa wapite. Kwani wanashuka kutoka mbinguni? Kama hawatajenga hiyo access roads, piteni mahali hawa watu wanapita. Waende wapatwe. Hawako nchi nyingine, wako Kenya. Mambo ya kupiga tu bombs kwa milima, alafu saa hiyo saa ile bomu imerushwa, mtu ameuawa. Hao wanauliwa, hao wamepita wapi? Sisi tunawapatia muda. Ikishindikana mtuachie, tumalizwe, wale watabaki tujue vile tutafanya.
I want to agree with people who say, and that is Francis Ngate is saying, these people, my Kenya, these people who you call bandits are locals located in various parts of these affected regions. Those complaining know them well. They are waiting for the day when they shall be killed. That's the time you will know they are not bandits. Human Rights Watch and political class shall come out in, and the police shall be held accountable for killing innocent and armed civilians and all sorts of things. What has stalled it? We saw that in phase 2, and I think Kenyans raised questions when people are told to vacate some specific areas, so that I think those places will be no-goes, and people are challenging, or actually saying that if they are to move, is there a possibility that the same people we're calling bandits are actually also might have moved and left none? Because since they moved out, we've not seen a bit of those strikes. But of course, that operation cannot be in full glare of the camera. So there are a lot of things that could be happening behind the scene. So this is something that it looks a bit deep. I am one person that believes that no one protests, nothing happens. In fact, a protest cannot be held in that magnitude of even stopping the motorcade of a deputy IG without an internal mechanism for it to be mobilized. It must be mobilized within. So that tells you that, of course, there seems to be a perception to create that operation has failed. I don't know whether that will be it. But then the fact that locals are barricading road and blocking deputy IG motorcade, for that even to be successful, it must be a huge number of people to do that. It cannot just be done by some few, 10 or 5 people. And knowing that IG is going to pass there so that they take that protest and block the road, the more than what meets the eye. So what am I saying? Someone once said that the problem, and I think when Natambea spoke in Nakuru, he said, and he told President William Ruto that those who are supposed to fight the bandits are the people that are around him with pens. So immediately something is done, it's on there. From what I see, that problem is not going to end anytime soon if the political class will still continue to keep their interests there. That is the problem. I don't think civil society organizations or activists are in Baringo, around that place, to organize that. I don't see that as a possibility. I actually see a situation where, according to me, is that it is more of being an organized threat against the IG. Now, this gentleman, the deputy IG, was a man that was really regarded as the brave of all. Remember, during the results declaration at Bomas of Kenya, that came out as he came out very brave and was really seen as a man who was pro-William Ruto. So if such a report, such a story reaches to the desks of the members of parliament and some, security docket, you will not, you will hear stories of incompetency, or he has failed and to be to be dropped, or rather to resign because he has failed in that. The rest, then someone is committed to show that man that probably he's not delivered as to the power. But is it about him, or is it about the system not working? Because part of that article is saying that there seems to be no clear line. There's no clarity between, is it the police or the military heading it? I remember Waziri saying that it is a multi-agency, but it is a police operation. That is, police are the ones in front and they're getting the support from the military. So I even wondered, on that front, how would military is the superpower? The KDF is the superpower. Are you going to tell me that naturally ni kama naambia assistant chief, it's supposed to be chief is supposed assistant chief to lead his chief? I think in that context, where even though there is a clear way on how people should always associate, but to me it looks like the military are supposed to be in front, but because of the prior experience of so, if we were sending the military there to address the situation, they are the new team that is coming. Then why should they be behind? If it is police to be in front, then why did you take the military? Because all along they've been going there, the police has been going there, and the problem has not come to an end. So I look at the political interests, the political class in that region, really scuttling efforts to solve the problem. Then, why exactly do you think it has failed? And what would that show of the fact that that is coming out? It shows a bit of inability. You know, I saw people saying that in Nairobi, the security was really meted on civilians, or rather on the masses. But as problem that is supposed to be solved, the Baringo and Samburu and Laikipia has remained a problem. Despite of deployment there for long, it has not solved. But I know one thing. I think it was done differently, slowly, but it has become one of the most complicated operations. If you talk to people around, you'll be told it's very complicated. As to whether this will be solved, I think Baringo residents will have to protest more and join the mass action. Probably that is the language that people will understand. That's my bold.